Hi friends. Oh, let's straighten out this camera here. How are you doing today? I am so excited because today we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about two things. First, we're going to talk about my new book, Tunisian Sampler, Blanket and Pillow, which is now available from Annie's. And we're going to talk about my other new book, available from Annie's, called Down Crochet, Learn to Crochet Top-Down Beanies. You'd think I'd know the name of my book. But I'm super excited because both of these, there we go, sorry, had a phone call come through. So both of these came out within the last couple of weeks from Annie's, and I'm super excited to talk to you about them because they're great for learning how to do new crochet techniques that maybe you're not really sure about, and I love doing that. So I actually have two different classes with Annie's that are already on their website. One covers Tunisian crochet and one covers top-down crochet beanies. Good morning to everybody. So if you like video classes, you can actually go to the Annie's website and you can take my class on top-down beanies and a class on Tunisian colorwork. Obviously, it's not the same as what's included in these books, but it'll teach you some really great kind of foundational skills, if you will. So let's talk about first Learn to Crochet Top-Down Beanies. So this book is my absolute favorite of last year, just because it's really, really cool. So just by looking at this, you would think it's just crochet beanie patterns, but it's not. The book centers around this technique of crocheting top-down beanies that uses a chart like this. So this chart, essentially all the hats in the book start out with just a circle of half double crochet. And you match it up to this chart here, so you never have to worry about how many stitches you use. You never have to worry about sizing it and it being too small, the hat coming out too large, anything like that. This is guaranteed to make sure that your hats fit the first time, every time. There are video tutorials included when you purchase both of these books. So both of these books come with tutorials that I filmed here in my studio. So when you purchase them, you get that as well. So this, anyway, is really, really cool. It's got a ton of different hat patterns. There's 8 different patterns included in this book, and they cover everything from just stripes to 2-color with texture to color work, some more color work that's a little bit textured, just textured hats. This has star stitches in it, which is really cool. So anyway, great book. If you haven't got it yet, make sure you purchase Learn to Crochet Top-Down Beanies. Very inexpensive, totally worth all 8 patterns. I think the price comes out to about $1 and change per pattern. And you get that chart in there, and once you know how to start using this technique, you can design anything that you want. So, Frances said she just finished my heart hat, and she loves it. That makes me happy. So, this is really cool. Get it, if you haven't already. And it's got hats for guys, which was really cool. I don't think I've ever had a book that featured hats for men before. I know some of my online classes do, but... So there's that. But let's talk about what we're here to talk about. Tunisian Sampler, Blanket, and Pillow. Now, this is available from Annie's. It's linked in the comments. Look for the pinned comment. And you're going to get 2 really cool patterns in this book. You get the pattern for the Afghan, which has 33 different stitches. No stitches repeated throughout. And you get the pattern for the this pillow as well. This little star pillow. How cute is that? That's Tunisian crochet, guys. I know, it's hard to believe, but it seriously is. It's Tunisian crochet. You can kind of see it better on the back. It's all Tunisian simple stitches. Isn't that the coolest? So 33 stitches included in this one Afghan. Look at all of those different stitches. There's colorwork, texture, lace, simple stitches, beginner stitches, advanced stitches, literally any kind of stitch that you can think of that's in Tunisian crochet is probably in this Afghan. What I did was I basically picked out my favorite Tunisian stitch dictionaries, which come from Japan and some Eastern European countries, and I just really, really loved the different stitches in them, and I threw them all together and created this vibrant blanket. And it's just so much fun. Now, all of the yarn is just a worsted weight acrylic yarn. It's called Premier Yarns Basics, and it truly is just a beautiful, wonderful yarn. So let me show you, let's take a little tour of the book because that's what we're here for. So when you first open the book, you get a little bit of information that I wrote for you. And right in the introduction, it says a purchase of this pattern includes a special bonus video that shows you some of the stitches for which you might need a little extra help. So while I don't walk you through every single stitch, I walk you through all the really complicated stitches, which is really cool. And once you buy it, it comes with it. So you don't have to do anything extra. Now, there is a great section all about Tunisian Basics, which we're actually going to cover today. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then you have the pattern for the actual Afghan. Now, what I love that Annie's did was they created essentially a stitch dictionary. So all of the stitches are pictured with the directions underneath. And Genevieve just asked, can beginners use this book? Absolutely. This is not intended for advanced crocheters. If you've ever taken a crochet class with me, and if you've ever, like if you're on Annie's Creative Studio and you've taken any of my Tunisian classes, you know that I wholeheartedly believe that Tunisian crochet is accessible for everyone. If you can single crochet, you can absolutely Tunisian crochet. This book, and just like all of my books and all of my patterns, is specifically geared towards taking beginners and giving them advanced skills so that way you guys can add tools to your toolbox and you'll be able to pull them out and work amazing Afghans. And that's absolutely what I wanted this book to be. There are, I'm not gonna lie, there are complicated stitches, but those complicated stitches are covered in the video. I take you through all of them. And they're also, I take you through some of the basic stitches, but Annie's has a wonderful video library. And if you're new to Tunisian crochet and you are scared of trying it and you're not sure that like you want to jump on the bandwagon and make something like this yet, I highly, highly, highly recommend Kim Guzman's Annie's online class, Learn to Tunisian Crochet, I think it's called, or Learn Tunisian Crochet. And she has a second one that's Tunisian Lace and Cables. They're amazing classes. There's a few Tunisian classes that are available on Annie's Creative Studio that I've taught myself. Like I said, I have a Tunisian colorwork class that's on Annie's. So Annie's has a lot of wonderful resources so you can learn Tunisian if you don't want to jump on this yet. But this is absolutely accessible to beginners and advanced beginners and confident beginners, all the way up to advanced crocheters who've been doing this like me for nearly, 24 years now, something like that. So anyway, this is a wonderful, wonderful book. So let's talk about the basics of Tunisian crochet. So today I'm going to show you how to work some basic stitches. All you're going to need is a basic crochet hook without a thumb rest, okay? So the book is available. Tanya asked where can she get the book. Is it available through Annie's? It absolutely is. It's linked in the comments down below. Look for the pinned comment on this video and you'll be able to find it. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is if you love this Afghan, you want to make this exact Afghan for, I think it's like $35 or something, you can get the entire kit of yarn. So you can get this entire pattern book, so the entire book with all the directions you need, the video instruction, and all of the yarn that I used in this book to make this exact Afghan. It's like a crazy great deal. Obviously, you can use the yarn you have at home in your stash, but if you want to make it look exactly like this, which I'm really proud of this Afghan, you can get all the yarn you need. And let me tell you, Premier Yarns Basics is so incredibly soft. It is one of the softest acrylic worsted weight yarns I've ever used. I absolutely love it. Okay, back to Tunisian. So if you want to use just a standard crochet hook like this, you can. Just make sure it doesn't have a thumb rest, all right? Now, there are obviously Tunisian crochet hooks that look like this. They're super long, and you can use one of these today too, or you can use a corded one. So a corded Tunisian hook has a big old long cord and then a hook on the end. Doesn't matter. If you're worried about your stitches slipping off and you're using just a regular crochet hook like this, just put a rubber band on the end. Keeps all your stitches from falling off. So I'm going to be using some nice, thick, bulky yarn. I'm going to flip my camera around so you guys can see what I'm doing. But all I'm doing right now is putting a slip knot on my hook. Okay? So we're gonna try this. All right, I gotta unplug the power. That'd be good. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Tunisian crochet and how you actually do it. So Tunisian crochet starts out like regular old crochet. We're going to make a chain of, let's do 10 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay? Then we're going to pick up stitches in each of the chains across. Now, you can do this one of two ways. I prefer just to go into the top of the stitch because I almost always am going to work in edging around my project. If you're not going to work in edging, you can go into the back bump of your crochet chains. And what this will do is give you a nice kind of finished edge all the way along. But I'm just going to go into the hook or into the chain like I normally would, and I'm going to pick up a loop in each stitch across. Now this is called a Tunisian Foundation Row. One of the things I learned from the master of Tunisian crochet, Kim Guzman, is that Tunisian crochet is basically, especially Tunisian simple stitch, is just single crochet on an assembly line. So as you work across, we're just going to kind of work the first steps of a single crochet by picking up loops all the way across. But now we need to work these loops off. The easiest way to do that is simply by chaining one, then we'll yarn over our hook and pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. And we repeat that all the way across. Now this is called a Tunisian Foundation Row, as I said, and what we're doing right now is the return pass. For the most part, your return pass is going to be exactly the same for every kind of stitch. However, that changes when you're doing something like lace. So you can see this red section here on the Afghan. That's lace. And the return pass is done a little bit differently. You can see this yellow portion here where my hook is. That's also done a little bit differently. The directions will tell you how to do your specific return pass, but in this case, that's just kind of, it's dependent upon the stitch. All right, so let's work a Tunisian simple stitch. So Tunisian simple stitch is worked by inserting your hook from left to right, from right to left underneath the vertical bars. So you can see on our piece here, we have vertical bars going all the way across. Those vertical bars are essentially what we will be working all of our Tunisian stitches into, unless the pattern calls for something else. So we insert from right to left, just going straight underneath that vertical bar, yarning over and pulling up a loop. And we repeat that all the way across our row. Now, what we should always have are 10 loops on our hook because we had 10 stitches. When we get to our end stitch here, we're going to work that a little bit differently. We're not going to go right to left underneath the vertical bar. Instead, we're going to insert our hook into the stitch and then pull up a loop. Again, we'll chain 1 and then yarn over, pull through 2, all the way back to the beginning to work our return pass. Now you can already see that my work is starting to curl. And if you've heard anything about Tunisian crochet, you've probably heard that it has a tendency to curl up. That's because the bulk of our work is on the back. So we're creating a really bulky back and a really sleek front, and that back wants to roll in on itself. There's no way to cure the curl. Absolutely no way. So the one thing that we can do to prevent the curl is simply by working different stitches. This overall afghan begins with stitches that won't curl, which are Tunisian double crochet stitches. I'm going to show you how to work those next. Then we work Tunisian reverse stitches and Tunisian full stitches. These 3 basic stitches that we begin with do not curl. So while other stitches throughout the afghan may have a tendency to curl in on themselves, we don't have to worry about that happening because we make sure that the first few stitches and the last few stitches don't curl in on themselves. And if you're working any kind of Tunisian crochet project on your own, by making sure the first few stitches and the last few stitches, or few rows I should say, are in a stitch that doesn't curl, you'll make sure that your work doesn't curl at all. Also, applying an edging, as I did here, all the way around can help as well. So let's move on to my very favorite Tunisian crochet stitch, Tunisian double crochet. So Tunisian double crochet is worked by chaining 1 and 1 only. Then we're going to yarn over our hook and insert it into the next vertical bar from right to left, just as we did for simple stitch. We'll yarn over and pull up a loop. Then we'll yarn over and pull through 2. So we're kind of working step 1 of a double crochet, but we're not going to finish it. We're going to leave that last loop on our hook. Again, we yarn over, working from right to left, we go into that next vertical bar and we pull up a loop, then we yarn over and pull through 2. And we repeat that all the way across, going into each vertical bar, pulling up a loop and pulling through 2. The wonderful thing about Tunisian double crochet is it's taller, so it works up really, really fast, but also it doesn't curl. Because the length of the stitch distributes the overall bulk a little bit better, it helps the tendency that Tunisian crochet has to curl. When you get to your last stitch, you're again going to yarn over and insert your hook into the last stitch, not underneath that last bar, and then pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through 2. Your return pass for Tunisian double crochet is exactly the same as we've been doing. Simply chain 1 and then yarn over, pull through 2, all the way back to the beginning of your row. Whoops, my yarn is a little splitty here. Now let's try 1 stitch more. Let's do a Tunisian triple crochet. We did a double, let's try a triple. To start, we're going to chain 2, then we're going to yarn over twice and insert your hook under that vertical bar and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Leave that last loop on your hook. So we're working steps 1 and 2 of a triple crochet, but not that last step. Yarn over twice, under the vertical bar, pull up a loop, and then pull through 2 twice. And we'll just repeat that process all the way across the row until we get to our last stitch. So you can see that Tunisian crochet is not just really, really cool, but it's a lot of fun because you can take traditional crochet stitches and kind of adapt them and see what they're going to look like. All right, so let's work our last stitch. We'll yarn over twice and insert it into the top of that Tunisian double crochet. Then we pull up a loop and pull through two, and we're going to work our traditional return pass. So chain one, then pull through two all the way to the beginning. So you can see that Tunisian crochet doesn't have to curl, it doesn't have to be bulky, and it can create a lot of texture that's incredibly beautiful. Now, whenever you get to the end of your Tunisian crochet, you can just work a slip stitch, a Tunisian slip stitch all the way across to end it off. To do that, insert your hook into the next vertical bar and pull up a loop and then slip it through. So you're just going to work a slip stitch all the way across, but only working into those vertical bars. This will make sure that all your stitches are finished off beautifully, and you won't have to worry about your work snagging or leaving any loops kind of unworked. Then to finish off, you just chain one, break your yarn, pull through, and that's that. So today we learned how to work our Tunisian Foundation Row, our Tunisian Simple Stitch, Tunisian Double Stitch, and Tunisian Triple Stitch. We also learned how to do a Tunisian Slip Stitch. So I'm going to flip the camera back around. There we go. Ooh, a little too pale there. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to do a whole bunch of different stitches. I had a lot of fun teaching them. You can probably tell that I love Tunisian crochet. It's one of my absolute favorite techniques. I've been doing it for, my goodness, almost 10 years now. And throughout that time, I've developed different techniques. I've made everything from garments to afghans and even crochet toys out of Tunisian crochet. So the possibilities really are endless once you start really digging in and seeing how Tunisian stitches work. So I hope that you'll pick up my book, Tunisian Sampler, Blanket, and Pillow. It's totally worth it. It's just about $9. This is a really great book. I'm extremely proud of it. Like I said, there are 33 different stitches. So even if you just get this to kind of learn these different stitches, you can absolutely do that. Patty S. Sweaters. Yes. I have made, I don't know, I think 5 or 6 different kinds of Tunisian crochet sweaters. Some for magazines, some just because I wanted to, yeah. And thank you to, who said it? Jen said, what a cool workroom. Thank you. I need to give you guys a little tool, or a tour. Why did I say tool? I need to give you a tour one day of my studio. So this is my studio. This is where I film all my Annie's Creative, Studio classes. I film some other classes, some Annie's videos for YouTube, all that kind of stuff. I film them all in here. I do different things. Do you want to see what I've been working on lately now that we finished our tutorial? Look at this guy. Ugh, isn't he the cutest? I talked about him in my last live I did with Annie's. Like, I just love him. I cannot get enough of him. I learned how to make gnomes from Year-Round Gnomes, I think it's called, and it's a booklet that's available on Annie's as well, and it's got a bunch of different patterns, all for little baby gnomes. Now, I made mine out of super bulky yarn instead of using worsted weight, and he just turned out cute. So he sits in, he's in every video now. He just kind of hangs out back there. What else do I have? I have this guy here. This is from an Annie's Creative Studio class. So if any of you guys are quilters, I show how to make this beautiful log cabin pillow that has silhouette. It's kind of blown out, but kind of looks like that. There you go. So, what else? I think that's it. I've been working on a bunch of cool stuff from Annie's. I just taught a class on Annie's Creative Studio. So if you're not signed up for Annie's Creative Studio, you really need to, because I teach some really, really cool classes on different patterns. And Annie's Creative Studio is wonderful because you can sign up for a free trial and you can try it out just to see if you're going to like it. You're going to love it. But I did a tutorial on this. How cute is this guy here? This is called the Chili Penguins Blanket. And there's now a video tutorial up on the Annie's Creative Studio website. And I show how to make him. He's so cute. I did so many really cool winter and Christmas patterns this year. So exciting. I think that's it. Oh, and because I have to, because I'm so proud of this pattern, I've already talked about it, but if you have not joined Annie's Creative Studio, the #1 reason to do it, in my opinion, is to learn how to make the Gothic Rose Afghan. So this is my absolute favorite design that I've ever made. It's so fun. There's a 5-part, well, I think 2 parts are released right now, but there's a 5-part crochet along that is on Annie's Creative Studio. I think parts 1 and 2 are available now. And I show a breakdown of how to crochet the block round by round. I show how to seam all of your blocks together. I teach you how to do crochet, mosaic crochet, and overlay crochet. So if you haven't signed up for Annie's Creative Studio, do it. You won't regret it. I teach so many classes. I absolutely love Annie's Creative Studio. And I have so many classes in the queue. You're going to love it. So anyway, okay. Here are my 2 books, Tunisian Sampler, Blanket, and Pillow, and the Learn to Crochet Top-Down Beanies. Like I said, when you purchase these, you also get access to a video that I did showing how to do both techniques. The Tunisian Sampler, I show how to do certain stitches. The Learn to Crochet Top-Down Beanies, I show how to use the schematic. So I love teaching. It's my favorite thing in the world. Okay, I'm gonna go, friends. I need to eat lunch. I'm really hungry, and it's almost lunchtime, which is at 12:30. So thank you so much for joining me today. We will do this again soon. Yeah, all right. Bye, guys. Happy stitching. We'll talk to you later.